What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Sammy's Place. A few weeks ago, I talked about our first performance being a scam. Round two was definitely rough. That shit was embarrassing for me. I hated every second of that. That was kind of hard to move on from, especially being someone who deals with anxiety. So I tend to replay stuff a lot in my head over and over, and it just beats me up inside. I always like doing my best, and I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so that kind of fucked me up. But like I mentioned, I was working on new material throughout that summer, and was preparing a few projects to release early the following year. So we shot our first video, So Alive. I believe it was like January 25th, 2015. Had a great time as always. You know, Shayma was back. I don't really remember how that happened, how she came crawling back. But everyone was there, even Barbara, like Cassie, Nakia, Ashley, Joelle, like everybody was there. Um, I spent the next few days editing the video, trying to wrap up one project to start the rollout, and I had a few performances lined up, so I wanted to have new material and also something to promote. I was asked to take part in this competition called the Cap City Showdown. They just started this around that time. This, I think, was like volume 3, so like the third showcase. It was headlined by Eddie, I think his name is Eddie Quotes. Um, Rita Carter was also performing. These are local artists that are kind of well known here. And she was performing since she won the last showdown. I was really excited to be a part of this. I knew of these people for the longest time, and here I'm about to do a show with them and share the same stage. I just felt like things were finally going in like the right direction. I had the opportunity to revive myself from that fucking disastrous performance. And so yeah, I'm editing the So Alive video, and I had my headphones on the entire time while editing. So like 2 days of music at max volume blasting in my ear. I was playing music at max volume a lot around this time. It's like it wasn't loud enough for me, and I'd get these warnings that the volume's too loud and it can cause damage and shit, right? Those little warnings. And I do what everybody else does most of the time, just ignore it, and I would turn it up. And I didn't really take breaks, so I was like nonstop in my ears. At one point, I did take a break from editing the video. I was gonna work on writing a song, so I put my headphones back on for it. Halfway through the song, there was this like cosmic sound, and it was like a blast to my ear. It felt like a brick to the head. I immediately took out my headphones, and I just saw white. I was deaf. I couldn't hear or fucking see. My vision came back, but I'm still deaf. I can't hear. And fuck, I was confused as shit too. Like, I didn't know what just fucking happened. And when I mean by confused, I mean my thoughts were like all scattered. I couldn't think like normally. It was really fucked up. What just happened really affected me, my everything. Then I got this high pitched ring, and it faintly made its way in, louder and louder, and with it came a long sound. So I started to hear again, but it was like as if someone turned the volume off and turned it up really slow, but then too loud. And then with it came with this feedback, and I heard too well. Like everything was 100 times louder than what we normally hear. So I felt so sick to my stomach. I instantly went to lay down. It didn't even register what just happened here. I wasn't even fully aware of the extent of damage I just did. I had no idea how much my life just changed. I had this pressure to my left side of my head, the ear being the root of it all. It felt like this horrible earache, the worst earache I've ever fucking had. With this pain that would spread outward to the rest of my head. It was like a vibration. It hurt so fucking bad. I heard everything so loud. I could hear white noise and it hurt my ears. I laid in bed for most of that day with like a pillow over my head because everything was just so loud. So I was trying to block out the sound. I wasn't trying to kill myself. I covered my ears. Um, and my ex and I, we went to a restaurant later that evening and we couldn't even stay. Although it wasn't actually loud for the normal person, it was screaming in my ears. The music, the forks, the knives, the fucking plates, dishes hitting each other and shit. I couldn't handle any of that. It was piercing my ears. I sat there covering my ears. That's how bad it was. So we had to leave. Little did I know is that this would be my new normal. A few days went by and there was no progress. So I went to the hospital. They said they couldn't see anything damaged, which is good, but they'll send me to an NET specialist. And when I saw the specialist, said the same shit. Can't see any damage. But he made it clear my ears are giving me a second chance and that I'm very lucky. And he explained to me that there was signs that I probably didn't really, well, that I noticed, but more so ignored. And my ears were letting me know way ahead of this accident. And yeah, when he told me that, like, about the ringing, I did hear ringing quite often, more so than normal. And there's that ringing, when people say, like, oh, someone's talking about you, that ringing. So that's, yeah, no, volume's too loud on my end. And the fact that the volume in music wasn't loud enough was a huge sign that I'm being exposed to too much volume. But he said it should be back to normal within a few weeks or a few months. And yeah, no, that didn't happen. I continue to feel this heavy pain and pressure in my head and in my ear every day for 3 years. I became that person who couldn't even really leave his house. Everything was too loud. I couldn't see friends because they're loud. I couldn't go outside because of the noise of the traffic would hurt. Especially brakes on the vehicles and buses, especially. That shit really, really hurt. Even being in settings with people talking. They're not loud, but it's like the longer that I'm there, the louder it gets. Like someone's turning up the volume slowly. I could maybe go somewhere and handle it for like 10 minutes max, and then I'd have to leave. I'd get horrible vertigo. It felt like the world was spinning under me. I'd get so confused and dizzy. I couldn't do anything other than stay home with all the windows shut, and fuck, even then, the sounds of construction outside in the far distance would still manage to make its way in and hurt my ears. And so that's when I would have to go to my room and just cover my ears with like my pillow, just to block out all that fucking noise. People didn't really realize how bad this was. Like I tried many times explaining, and people were understanding, but it still became a problem for everybody. I just sounded like a whiny bitch all the time. I expected it. I was always telling people not to talk too loud, or turn that down, turn that off, or I gotta leave because it's too loud, when it really wasn't even. Yeah, I was that guy. A huge difference to who I am on a normal day. I'm naturally loud. I love listening to music. Loud. I couldn't even listen to music at that time. I couldn't even watch TV really. The volume would be at 1 and it'd still be too much for me. And making music wasn't even an option. Like, I couldn't. I had prepared everything. It was now more so to finalize it all. And then we just go. We make videos, perform, do everything we have to promote the project that waited so long to get to this point. Everything was going good. We were performing. Things were ready. My anxiety was handled. I felt ready, but God said no. There was different plans for me. So I had to back out of the Cap City Showdown. I tried rehearsing twice. I wore earplugs, and the music was even coming from another room, and I still couldn't even fucking do that. So there's no way I could stand on stage in a club with like loudspeakers and shit, with even with ear protection. I really had no choice but to back out. I hated that. That fucking sucked. I was waiting for that. So now I'm just like stuck in this painful state like every day, and I had to cancel like everything I was ready to do. People really didn't understand how much this affected my life, how much it ruined my life. I get it though, you know, growing up with someone who's been extremely loud his whole life, and then when they just can't handle volume or being around you, it's a huge change. I was not enjoyable to be around at all. Like it fucked everything up for me. Music, social life, my relationship, like everything. I didn't even want to be around myself, so I didn't expect others want to be around me. I fell into such a deep depression, just waiting at home, waiting for it to stop hurting, waiting for it to get better. My life felt like it was stuck on pause, and as time went by, it didn't feel like pause anymore. This shit felt like it was going to be permanent, which deepened my depression. Feeling like this is like now my life, it was hard for me to believe that. There was still a small little part inside that said no. This is not it. You're going to get through this. Just might take some time though. It was challenging to do anything. Like keys dangling would have me drop to my knees. It pierced my ears. I couldn't even do the dishes because it hurt my ears. Sliding the shower curtain to the side would hurt. Going to the grocery store was uncomfortable because of the humming of the fridges and the freezers, or the fucking broken squeaking carts, or shit, even the lights. I could hear the hum in the lights, and it would drive me nuts. It would just get louder and louder. I always had to leave. When I heard something that was uncomfortable, it just got louder. I could not hear it after hearing the noise. In a second, my life changed. I used to think I was almost like, not untouchable, but like I could bounce back from anything. That was my state of mind before, but this got me good. Worse than any anxiety I experienced, this really fucking trapped me, and I couldn't stand it. Life was going by, everyone was living their lives, and here I can't do anything. And all I wanted to do was what I enjoy. And even just the simplest things. I couldn't even go to birthday parties and shit like that. I missed so many things because of this. My ex was also feeling this, being held back from doing everything and anything because of me. I was holding people back. That's what it felt like, and it sucked. I never want to be a reason to why people can't enjoy things. Time went on and it didn't improve, so I just adjusted. I'm like, okay, this is clearly permanent. Time to adjust. I got shit to do. I'm not living my life like this. Fuck that. I've come too far to just fucking stop. So when making music, I'd wear my earplugs. I'd have the volume low. The first while I could only last maybe 5 to 10 minutes, but made progress slowly. When recording, I'd hold my headphones in my hands and just kind of like rest them on my lap. The music would be playing loud enough that I can hear it, and I could just sing into the mic. It was challenging, but I wanted to make music. I could not make music. I continued to make music videos, but would have earplugs in my ears, but cover it with like a hoodie or a hat or some shit so it's not noticeable. And of course I had shit to do with my ex, so like often I'd wear headphones to drown out the volume. I hated it. You know, everywhere I went, people would ask, why am I wearing headphones? It's like, what am I listening to? And then I would have to explain, yeah, this happened. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, it does fucking suck. And then we went to a Shania Twain concert, and this was maybe like 2 years in now after my accident. I now wear headphones, so it's not so ugly rather than like earplugs. I didn't want to stand out, but yet like I did. And then some ugly drunk bitch, yo, she yanked them right out of my fucking ears and screaming in my ears, "Why am I wearing these?" And we were pretty close to the speakers too, so I almost like I fucking spazzed out a bit because I got scared. I was scared I was gonna go deaf. You just exposed me to really fucking loud volumes, you stupid bitch. I was just so tired of being cooped up inside, and I was missing so much in life, and it was because of this hearing issue. And you know, being a Shania fan, this was supposed to be her farewell tour, so I had to try. I was so scared of being there, you know, fearing of not knowing what this could do to my hearing, and what if I had to leave, like I do everywhere else. But I had to try. I had to pick and choose what I can do at this point, because I knew by the end of the night I'd feel fucked up. So I could only like go to so many things so often. So although I was not able to attend everything, like birthdays, events, supporting friends with their like, you know, their music and shit like that, doing shit for myself especially, I had to pick certain things that I couldn't pass on, and that, you know, it could be the last time, so I didn't want to miss out. And fucking elevators would fuck me up. Going to the 7th floor or like higher, it would trigger my vertigo, and I would it just fucked me right up. I'd get pale, I'd get nauseous as fuck, to the point people would notice it. They're the ones are you okay? And I didn't even say anything at this point. I'm just like, oh fuck, like, yeah, my vertigo. And I went to a cottage once, and which was pretty far out. There was a huge difference in the pressure. I felt everything. That's what's fucked up. Stepping out of the car, it hit me. I got dizzy. Thankfully, I wasn't driving. I was still new to this, so I've never experienced that, especially like that. It hit me like a punch to the face. It got so bad, it sounded like I was having a stroke. I was talking, but my words were all gibberish, and I was aware of the fact my words aren't coming out how I'm thinking, so that scared the shit out of me. Not one word made sense. I saw my doctor after about that, and she didn't suspect that it was like a stroke or anything. She thought, you know, it could be because of the vertigo. These were the things that I dealt with for 3 years straight. One day I woke up and the pressure was gone. The pain wasn't as heavy and the volume wasn't as loud. Fucked up how like that really just happened overnight. And it's funny because this literally was the day after my ex and I split. And so I think it's very true what they say about sleeping with people and kind of like exchanging energies and like demons and shit like that. When they're toxic, that's literally going into your spirit, so it affects you. This accident happened about a month after I met my ex, and then it got better literally the morning after we split. Not saying that this is why that happened, but it's just crazy how it all happened like that. I was finally able to wear headphones again while recording. That was first time in 3 years that I could wear headphones. Nothing loud, obviously, right? Like I can't have anything really that loud in my ears, but it's a huge difference. You know, that was a big start for me. That was a major progress right there. I was able to play music at a louder volume and like in the car and shit, and it not hurt from it or get dizzy. And it sucked. My heart was broken, but fuck, was I ever happy to have somewhat normal hearing again. And since then, it's gotten a lot better. I haven't had a day where I got dizzy or felt pain from volume in like so long. There's moments, like certain noises will hurt on a normal day, but like nothing compared to what I felt before. I continue to wear protection in louder settings. Although 2 years ago I went to an outdoor concert and forgot to put my earplugs in. And I was fine. I didn't realize it until after, which is like dangerous for me, I guess. I imagine it is. But it just shows the progress I made with my hearing. So I promise I won't do that again. But yeah, now I can go to restaurants. I can go to restaurants and I can go to parties again, be around friends and be social. Life is somewhat normal again. So, those warnings on our phones, they're really no joke. I ignored those warnings and look what the fuck happened. Cost me 3 years of my life and more. Quite a bit more. So be careful with the volume. Although I went through some serious torture, I'm very lucky I can hear still. Thank God. I'll never do that again. We don't realize how much we take advantage of these things. That's the fucked up thing. Until it's like way too late. And then your whole life is different. Your world is different. And one simple choice could have prevented all that. Be careful with the volume, guys.